Okay, guys, I'm so sorry for being late. The one time I schedule and announce a schedule, I'm not on time. Just my luck. So I'm just waiting for people to show up. Uh, I doubt I'll have a huge audience because doing these lives has taught me a lot about search engine optimization and everything matters, even the thumbnail you use, even the category you put your stream under, whether it's news or people and blogs or entertainment or education. I've done them all to experiment. I've also experimented with scheduling and things like that. In the end, I figured out I can play this game, and I can easily get 2,000, 3,000 plus uh, viewed streams. And as a matter of fact, YouTube or someone in the YouTube admin is kind of cheerleading me because I'm getting all sorts of notifications and emails. Uh, oh, Bokora, you're doing something right, especially with the Scott Ritter coverage. Oh, and speaking of Scott Ritter, my coverage is making me famous. Ryan Dawson, if you know the name, that's one of the earliest truthers, the 911, 911 truthers. He basically linked to one of my Scott Ritter streams on his channel. You can look it up. So that's a little pat on my shoulder. But today we're gonna look into debunking Elon Musk. Now, I don't think it's just an Elon Musk thing. A lot of people, this guy rubs them the wrong way because there's just something off about the whole premise. Everything about him, something's off, right? And the smarter you are, or the more qualified you are, the more the red flags just nag at your subconscious, I think. Look at all these engineers just talking about how absurd the whole Elon Musk premise, his claims, everything. It's just, they're skeptical about it. This video is clearly meant for engineers and people in that line of work, while Elon Musk is not. Elon Musk is meant for the masses. He has popular appeal. Anyone who's a fan of Elon Musk is like someone who buys Nike sneakers, right? And then he looks down at you because you're wearing sneakers from Walmart. Literally, that's all it is. Is um, you have no idea how much I look down at materialistic people. Should I start, or let's see how many people are in the live stream. Before I start, I should make sure I'm not speaking into the abyss. Okay, there's 3 people. How are you guys? Okay, so let me just get the screen going. You know what? Since there's only a few people here, and just to show you that whatever this channel is doing, and this channel's name is Common Sense Skeptic. I've not seen any of his work yet, but this is a 2-part series, that dives into Musk's past business dealings to determine if he actually is a multifaceted genius and self-made billionaire. Now, just to show you that this vibe of fraud that public figures like Elon Musk gives off has been in my radar, I'm gonna play a video I made. Right? Shameless self-promotion, but at the same time, you're going to listen and you're going to hear, without me going into any technical details, just the esoteric, the psychic aspect of all this, right? So I made a video. Excuse the bad lighting. I'm not a what do you call it? I don't have any experience with, broadcasting or video lighting or anything like that. So it's just me being in my living room talking about Bill Gates. So let's hear. And this is from January of last year.
Peace, people. So in this video, I'm just going to discuss the controlled demolition of the American brand and how they use different figureheads and manage the storyline of their biographies to mimic the waning supremacy of the American empire. Now, one person in particular that we can look into to prove this is Bill Gates. When Bill Gates was on top, he represented the pinnacle of American innovation and a positive entrepreneurial spirit, and they contrasted his managerial style with that of the late Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was more of the autocratic and by any means necessary type of CEO, and up until the tech bubble crash of the early 2000s, or the late 90s, early 2000s, Bill Gates was always painted as the good guy, as opposed to Steve Jobs' more villainous and results-oriented role. So,
and just following this thinking, I think Elon Musk is due for some notoriety. So he's on the top of the world right now, buying Twitter and all that. But I bet you when he's an old man, he's going to follow the same trajectory as Bill Gates, scandals and, talk about just evil, wicked stuff.
After Bill Gates retired from his Microsoft position, he became a philanthropist and focused more on his vaccination and medical pursuits. That's exactly when his character was switched to a more villainous trope. And it was around the same time that the Chinese and a lot of tech companies started to not only use China as a cheap source of labor, but actually relocate their main HQs to China. So as Silicon Valley was going down and the Chinese Silicon Valley started to rise, they synchronized this rise and fall, this decline and fall, the rise and fall of these different nexuses with the rise and fall of Bill Gates' persona, from a well-liked, popular CEO and the best example of American entrepreneurial spirit. They changed him to what he is now, this evil personified. And I'm here to make a forecast that the next person who will follow the same trajectory is Jeff Bezos. It's already happening.
And I stick with it, and it's already happening indeed, yeah. Jeff Bezos, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, was receiving a lot of positive accolades in media and so on. Now, not so much.
More of a humiliation ritual with his his stuff getting hacked by Saudi Arabian intel operatives. But Jeff Bezos was the goody two shoes developer of the Amazon enterprise, and once Alibaba, the Chinese competitor, takes over, and it will take over the helm from Amazon, just watch the switchover with Jeff Bezos and how he'll be some villain type evil character along the same lines as Bill Gates is right now. And I wanted to talk about some other things. For instance, sorry, I'm drawing blank. Yes, anyways, so with this decline of Silicon Valley, just watch for more villainous tropes being cultivated amongst American leaders, and on the inverse, watch for Chinese and Russian characters to be highlighted for their ingenuity and genius. So this will be...
Okay, so that was me just giving a little forecast on how these personas are going to be shaped, right? Now for the main subject matter of this stream.
Welcome to this episode of The Common Sense Skeptic. Earlier this month, Elon Musk was declared to be the richest man in the world, and his fanboys celebrated this questionable achievement by shoveling even more of their hard-earned cash into Tesla's inflated stock price. So what better way for us to kick off the new year than to demonstrate how Musk accumulated his reported massive wealth, and how Musk is probably the least worthy individual to ever hold such an honor. But first, we're going to start off this episode with a bit of an origin story of our own, and the reason why the Common Sense Skeptic channel came to be. Our crew are all fans of technology.
Keep in mind, these people, as skeptical as they are, they don't have the eyes we have, right? As much of as superior as they are to us in their technical knowledge and their engineering knowledge, their knowledge or their engineering download, they don't have the eyes that we have.
Who grew up on a steady diet of science fiction. We've followed along ever since Buck Rogers and Battlestar Galactica, the original series, were putting out new episodes. Back when $5 bought popcorn and a $2.50 Tuesday admission ticket to Star Wars in the theaters. Star Wars, Star Trek, even Star Blazers. So would it surprise you to learn that we used to be fans of Elon Musk? It's true. Spotting him in Iron Man 2 or The Big Bang Theory was kinda cool back in the day. And the media made sure we knew who he was and all the technological marvels he had single-handedly brought into the world. PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX, all directly from the unparalleled brilliant mind of this single man who manifested his visions through sheer determination and grit. Who doesn't love a story like that, right? Problem was, it was all a fiction we were being force-fed, fake news. We just didn't know it yet. Around the same time Musk was pretending to be an actor, other stories were circulating online about new technologies that were going to reshape the world. Wonder products being fawned over the media at the time included the water seer, and thorium-powered cars, and condominiums hanging from orbiting asteroids that would float across the sky. All of which falling into the category of too good to be true, and alarm bells started ringing about these types of claims. Actually, one of the very first products that defied our belief was alcohol. Remember that one? Powdered alcohol.
Look up futurism, all right? And then all of this will make sense.
Alcohol that you just added to water to make your favorite cocktails when you were out on a hike. The problem with that claim was alcohol is a solvent, not a solute, which is impossible to dehydrate into a powder. Solar freaking roadways was next. Their CGI promotional videos declared their goal was to pave the roads of the world with solar tile panels that were impervious to damage, creating all the energy the world would ever need. Non-stop adulation and positive press washed over Scott and Julie Broussard while they collected millions of dollars from Indiegogo and federal grants to produce this earth-saving green tech. But upon closer inspection, none of their claims added up, especially the economics. So we did what nobody else had done so far and broke down the numbers. Turned out, the raw unassembled materials for solar roadways would add up to at least $205 million per mile of 4-lane highway, and that was years ago. Despite all the rewards and DOT grants and press coverage and announced projects, 15 years after being founded, solar roadways has only ever amounted to little more than vaporware. At the time, Musk still flew on.
Look up the term vaporware. Vaporware is basically just like there's concept cars. These are concept technologies or concept tech ideas, right? That aren't, realized yet. They're still just all theoretical and so on. So Silicon Valley and a lot of venture capital in IT and technology and all that depends on vaporware.
Under our radar, despite his constant appearances on shows and news feeds and tech articles, right up until the cave in Thailand flooded. Then he hit our wall. As actual heroes were trying to save a dozen young soccer players and their coach from drowning in the cave, Musk decided this would be a great time for self-promotion, declaring he would provide a submarine to conduct the rescue. Vernon Unsworth, one of the lead rescue divers of this operation, told the media and Musk,
keep in mind, this incident happened in Thailand, and, it involved kids being trapped in a cave. I bet you there's a symbolic thing behind that. I know for a fact that Thailand, the Kingdom of Thailand, which used to be known as the Kingdom of Siam, right? Siamese twins, right? They have something about Thailand and children and the West using Thailand as like a playing ground for their, you know what I'm thinking, right?
thanks but no thanks, that sub will be useless in this effort. The fact was, this pinch point in the tunnel was so tight that divers had to remove their air tanks and pull them alongside. This was so dangerous that an experienced Thai Navy SEAL named Saman Gunan died while loading the tunnel with air tanks before the underwater extraction. Unsworth was absolutely correct in dismissing Musk's sub, which would never have gotten through that gap. Musk took that dismissal personally, and that embarrassment led to Musk viciously attacking Unsworth on Twitter. The sheer stupidity Musk demonstrated during this attempted publicity stunt, while there were young lives at stake, was bad enough. But for him to do what he did to Vernon Unsworth on Twitter, and in follow-up news articles, tore the positive facade off of him permanently. Watching these events unfold, the question we kept asking ourselves was, how could somebody so smart do something so stupid and so vile as this? And the answer we came up with was, maybe he's not that smart. Turns out that was an accurate conclusion, and the more research we do on Musk, the more solidified this conclusion becomes. Now that we've been able to nail down Musk's modus operandi, it's time to share what we've learned, so that others can stop fawning over this megalomaniacal imbecile.
One trick, and the masses, they're so stupid and despicable that they can be just easy. Nothing disgusts me more than gullibility, right? So the whole autism and Asperger's, I have family members who are low functioning or mid-level, suffer from mid-level to lower level autism. And when they speak about this man having autism, 100% it's a crutch to explain away, his midwit status. He's a midwit. He's just a regular Joe, right? But because they're putting him on this beacon of genius, right? They have to give him something to explain away his regular Joe normie behavior. Things that will cause smart people to realize, hey, this man's a shithead. Right? And autism is perfect for that. Basically, they'll say, "Oh, this man, he's a business mogul genius, but he just has poor people skills or whatever, you know." When reality is, if you have poor people skills, maybe you're not smart at all. I don't buy into this thing about the autistic scientist, who can't talk or no. Social skills is part of a package. If you're smart, you have social skills. And if you don't have social skills, it's some kind of, it's not stupidity, but it's an equivalent of that. And I'm sorry, but there is a reason why these nebbish, gullible but book smart types are being put on a pedestal. I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
Continues to fail upwards. We've all seen them. These memes that portray Elon Musk as a multifaceted genius, solely responsible for these quote-unquote paradigm-shifting companies. We've also seen the stories attached to this mythos about how he was a poor and abused child who turned himself into a self-made billionaire. It's time to put these claims to the test. Is he a self-made billionaire? And is he, in fact, the genius behind each of the companies he's credited with being the founder of? So this is Debunking Elon Musk, our initial offering of 2021. Musk was born to May Haldeman and Errol Musk on June 28, 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. This fittingly makes him a Cancer. His mother May was 21, 2 years younger than her husband Errol, whom she would divorce only 9 years later. As it turns out, the South African businessman who relentlessly pursued this beautiful aspiring model for 7 years until she finally agreed to marry him, started physically abusing her pretty much as soon as they got married. After having 3 children together, May moved back to Canada to pursue her modeling career, and at 69 became the face of CoverGirl. Around the same time May became the face of CoverGirl, her 72-year-old ex-husband,
May Musk, Eminem. They really like that first name, last name having the same letter. Elon Musk's dad has had a baby with his stepdaughter, who is 42. Who is 42 years younger than him. Okay, so what? Men can have children well into, old age.
Fathered a child with his own 30-year-old stepdaughter from his second ex-marriage. Which really isn't Elon's story, except Elon would bring similar misogynist attitudes into all of his future ex-marriages. Elon Musk is often portrayed as a poor kid who pulled himself up by his bootstraps. Reality is both sides of the family came from money, as was bragged about in an interview where they said they had so much money when they were younger, they could hardly fit it all in the safe. May's father, Joshua Norman Haldeman, developed national and international stature as a political economist, provincial and national professional leader in chiropractic medicine, and sportsman adventurer. In 1950, Haldeman picked up and moved his family to South Africa to become an amateur archaeologist hunting for the lost city of the Kalahari. Errol Musk's parents were also well off, tracing his military father's South African roots back 200 years. His mother came from a well-to-
Archaeology today is a valid field in the humanities, right? But 100 years ago, these were the truthers of their era, or the woke people. They were the preppers. They were looked at as oddballs, right, and misfits.
To English family and had an elite education. For his part, Errol was himself a gifted engineer and earned massive wealth as an engineering consultant and real estate developer and emerald mine co-owner. According to Elon's father, the family enjoyed a lavish lifestyle replete with yachts, ski vacations, and expensive computers. Musk himself enjoyed a privileged upbringing and education at private school, all of which Musk now denies.
Okay, that's the Scottish Rite checkerboard plaid.
Himself enjoyed a privileged upbringing.
Nice cropped haircut for a lady.
And education at private.
Is she even his biological mom? What's with the skirt? This is Elon's sister, I'm guessing.
Private school, all of which Musk now denies. But not every teenage kid can walk into Tiffany's with loose emeralds in their pockets and walk out with $2,000. When his parents divorced and his mother moved back to Canada, Musk initially stayed with his dad in South Africa. Musk moved to Canada at the age of 17 to live with his mom to avoid serving in the South African military. Musk attended Queen's University on scholarships, so how he racked up the six-figure student debt that he whines about is anybody's guess.
Okay, a little humble brag. I got accepted to Queen's University when I was applying for university. They have, I think, if not the best, the second best MBA program in Canada. But I didn't go. I chose, it's in Kingston, Ontario. It's actually a military town. So that's another layer for you to consider. He attended university in a military town, Kingston, Ontario. That's where I believe a huge Canadian base, military base, is located.
Maybe it's because
a lot of people on network TV, a lot of Canadians on network TV are actually Queen's University graduates. That guy, Ali Velshi, on MSNBC. I don't know if you guys know him. But this guy is a Queen's alumni. Ali Velshi. He's Shia, I believe. Ismaili or something. I think he's actually from East Africa. His family is actually from Kenya or something, like Freddie Mercury. But he's Indian origin.
he didn't graduate before moving to the University of Pennsylvania, and he was so poor that he and another student named Adio Resi bought a 10-bedroom frat house that they used as their own personal illegal nightclub. Resi recently posted a photo of the house, and it still stands. Musk is also often portrayed as a genius with an estimated IQ somewhere in the mid-150s. Problem is, that hasn't actually been put to the test since he was in grade school, and when he comes up with a concept such as the Hyperloop white paper, which is not only tremendously flawed at a basic physics level, it was also plagiarized from a 100-year-old patent and a 200-year-old concept, one has to wonder about his mental competency. Anyone thinking that a turbine is going to pull you through an airless environment while that vehicle is being held off the ground using compressed air in a vacuum is fundamentally, scientifically clueless, and needs to check out the episodes Thunderfoot has done on this topic immediately. Then, of course, after Musk has an idea people are fawning over, he has to immediately lie to his followers to create additional hype.
The people who are even coming up with Elon Musk isn't the one who's coming up with these concept cars or anything like that. It's other people. But this man is clearly comes from an engineering background, so he notices things that they can't pull the wool over his eyes like they do the masses. Why is that? It's because these people, not Elon Musk, forget Elon Musk, but even the people behind Elon Musk, they're not actual engineers. They're social engineers. Tavistock Institute types, right? So they can, with just using drawings and, the trope of, these are blueprints for something being worked on. Just using the concept of a drawing and presenting that is enough to convince people, just because these drawings exist, he must be dealing with, engineers. Legit engineers, but no.
In a vacuum is fundamentally, scientifically clueless, and needs to check out the episodes Thunderfoot has done on this topic immediately. Then, of course, after Musk has an idea people are fawning over, he has to immediately lie to his followers to create additional hype, such as this fake news about getting approval for a New York to DC Hyperloop, or this one about building one from San Francisco to LA. Add to this nonsense the concept of underground freeways accessed by elevators using electric skates, or the absolute insanity of drilling computer interfaces into your brain to play video games, and even W.C. Fields would have to wonder, is he dazzling you with brilliance or baffling you with bullshit? Judging from the ridiculous claims Musk is making about the terraforming and colonization of Mars, we have to believe it's the latter. And for anyone arguing Musk has a PhD to back up the genius claim, here are those facts. Musk was accepted into Stanford in California for PhD studies, but he dropped out after only 2 days to pursue his first business enterprise with his brother. And that's where this story actually starts. Instead of going to Stanford, Musk and his brother Kimball decided to create an online directory akin to the Yellow Pages to take advantage of the early stages of the internet boom. To that end, in 1995, they formed a global information network, which would later become Zip2, whose goal it was to convince businesses to form an online presence and directory. The stories that Musk tells about these early years, living in the office and whatnot, seem to be mostly for dramatic effect, since their rich father gave them $28,000 towards getting this venture going at a time when the minimum wage in California was $4.25. Musk may be on record now as saying he hates his father, but he apparently didn't hate him enough to turn down Daddy's money. Or his mother's, as it turns out. According to May's memoirs, she visited the boys every 6 weeks from Eastern Canada, buying groceries and furniture, and giving them another $10,000 to keep the lights on. Man, it must suck being so hard done by. Enter Greg Coury, a Canadian family friend through the father that Musk claims to hate. Coury was a Canadian...
This guy is an Arab. His name is Khoury. Greg Khoury must mean he's either Lebanese or Syrian.
Canadian real estate developer with business ties and connections that the brothers did not have. So Coury came in as a co-founder and mentor for the boys. Coury's roles in the company were those of investor, bringing another $8,000 of much-needed cash, as well as VP of business development, and as it turns out, referee of literal fistfights between Elon and Kimball in the office. It was...
Whenever you see a Syrian or Lebanese investor, rest assured he is managing a portfolio for Saudis or Qataris or you know the type I'm speaking about.
Coury's connections that brought the venture capitalists to the table, not these squabbling siblings. Once the VC money came pouring in through Greg, the highest office Musk held in the company was that of Chief Technology Officer, or CTO. Due to Elon's...
They basically tell these guys through their CIA fronts, look, we need you to raise funds from XYZ. They're gonna cooperate. If they don't, we have the reels, we have the hidden camera footage of them doing this XYZ. That's how all of this is done, and he's just a front.
Inability to deal with people, he was not even considered for the CEO position that was filled by Rich Sorkin. Prior to joining Zip2 as the chairman and CEO, Sorkin was a senior product manager for Pocket Computers, director of emerging tech at Phoenix Technologies, and VP general manager of Creative Technology Limited, where he oversaw an 8-fold increase in revenue over 3 years to $800 million annually. Sorkin's previous resume and education and his circle of influence dwarfed anything Musk brought to the table. Unlike Musk, Sorkin did graduate from Stanford in 1988 with his MBA, after graduating from Yale with a Bachelor of Science in Economics. Elon was given the position of CTO. However, the code Musk wrote, as it turned out, was poorly written, difficult to update, and impossible to expand. So in 1996, Sorkin hired professional coders to completely scrap what Musk had done, eventually rewriting every line of code in the platform. So essentially, Musk contributed nothing to the end product that Coury would use to attract additional investment money. Musk, upset that his work was being dismantled, demanded that these new professional coders work the same insane hours that he did, but they were only willing to commit to 9 to 5, while rewriting this electronic version of the Yellow Pages. In making these demands, Musk earned the reputation for being quite unreasonable to work for. In April of 1998, Sorkin made a deal with CitySearch to merge in a $300 million deal that would have seen Sorkin become the new CEO of the combined companies. Musk originally greenlit the deal, but then kiboshed it by leading a revolt against Sorkin, causing Zip2 to fall into such disarray that Derek Proudian, a venture capitalist board member at Zip2 and 3-time Stanford grad, had to step...
So people like this guy, basically, they're the real experts. They're the real technical geniuses, right? But they're not connected. They're not part of, the inside gang. They're not part of the initiated societies. So someone like him, I'm sure, has a lot to say about what he witnessed, the incompetence, just the the question marks. Where does all this money come from? Where's all who is this Elon Musk guy anyways? Like, I'm sure he has seen enough, and there's always people like this that suffer in the end, especially in the military, because they do everything right, and then these shitheads get all the credit.
Kiboshed it by leading a revolt against Oregon, causing Zip2 to fall into such disarray that Derek Proudian, a venture capitalist, board member at Zip2 and 3-time Stanford grad, had to step up and take control of the company as CEO. He immediately started looking for a buyer for this growing dumpster fire. In February 1999, despite constantly losing money, Compaq offered Proudian $305 million for the company, lock, stock, and barrel. This deal went through, and Zip2 was absorbed into Compaq's AltaVista platform. Those of us who lived through the 90s remember the dot-com tech boom, followed by the bubble and burst. This transaction definitely falls into that category. Here is another parallel from that same time frame. Most of you know who Kevin O'Leary is.
Yeah, he's another Canadian initiated. His wife committed a murder and got away with it, basically. So, oh, and look at this, the Trump triangle gesture. So, you know what? Let me just let this play, and then I'll.
The self-proclaimed Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank and Dragon's Den fame. O'Leary's biggest claim to fame is that in May of 1999, Mattel paid $3.8 billion for Kevin O'Leary's The Learning Company software company to form Mattel Interactive. Turned out, O'Leary's cooked books and outdated assets were pretty much worthless, and they were almost literally given away to the Gores Technology Group for $27 million less than a year later. In the time Mattel held on to TLC, they encountered losses in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Investors watched their share price plummet from $26.44 in March of '99 to $8.94 a year later. Mattel had to lay off 10% of their workforce to eke their way back to profitability. But the producers of Shark Tank conveniently leave out all those details from the opening credits of the show to let you believe that Kevin O'Leary is some sort of next-level business billionaire guru. Sound familiar?
Sound familiar? O'Leary in orange? This guy is a huge character in Canadian psyops. He's like the Canadian Trump. He used to be in TV, Shark Tank. You used to pitch your business idea, your gimmick or whatever, and then he would pass or accept to, invest. Huge character.
Right around the same time O'Leary single-handedly killed off the educational software market, the Zip2 deal went through, and Compaq suffered for it. Their strategy of buying assets at ridiculous premiums rather than develop them in-house at wholesale caused the once prominent computer company to flounder. In January of 1999, Compaq stock hit an all-time high of $47.62 a share. This transaction completed in February. By April, the stock had dropped to half its value to $24.25. And from there, it was a steady slide to when they were taken over by HP in September of 2001, with a closing stock price on the transaction date of $12.35. Anyone who bought and held CPQ at its height lost 75% of their investment by the time it was converted into HP stock. If you lost money on CPQ, the Zip2 deal definitely played a role in that loss. At the end of the day, Zip2 never managed to create a single penny in profit for Compaq from acquisition to abortion. But none of that mattered to the Musk brothers or to Curry, who all made out like bandits. Elon netted $22 million. Kimball only got $15 million. Curry, who was the Zip2 business developer and co-founder, made enough money to invest in Elon's next venture, but he played no role in the company. Curry died in 2012 at the age of 51 of a heart attack in New York City. After Musk cashed in with Zip2, he immediately took $1 million of his windfall and bought a McLaren F1 supercar to show off to his circle of friends and his girlfriend at the time, which made international headline news. This purchase is the perfect analogy for Musk, to be sure. Just like the company he sold, he didn't know how to pilot it or keep it on the road, and the poor vehicle suffered dearly at his hands before he wrote the uninsured car off, showing off for a man by the name of Peter Thiel, a name we will hear again very shortly. Following the windfall sale of Zip2 to Compaq, Musk turned his remaining money and focus to his next venture he called X.com. Of course, everyone knows the story of how Musk single-handedly set out to revolutionize the banking
Look at his dirty fingernails. He is really a shithead.
industry. Except you don't see the name Harris Fricker anywhere, and he was kind of important to that company, not only as a banking expert, but also as a co-founder. So was Ed Ho, a former Zip2 executive, and so was Christopher Payne, Harris Fricker's friend and colleague in the banking industry, who has apparently never, ever been photographed. Ed Ho, on the other hand, has only ever had one picture taken of him. Seriously, those are the only pictures we could find. Judging from the differences between the English and the Spanish versions of Wikipedia, someone has been rewriting X.com's history. Compare these screenshots for X.com from both sites, and you'll find the English version has been redacted to remove mention of everybody but Musk at X.com, but the Spanish version still names the three other men, their co-founderships, and their departure trajectories. Of these three men, it was Fricker who played the most important role in this new startup. Fricker is a banker with a bachelor's from St. Francis Xavier and a Rhodes Scholars Master from Oxford University to back it up. He was the banking master X.com needed to make this happen, and he brought the people he needed with him. Musk met Fricker during his internship at Bank of Nova Scotia and convinced Fricker to come on board in November of 1999 to help found the company. When X.com was formed, Musk rolled the rest of his Zip2 windfall into X.com, making sure with his larger investment that he would retain control of the company by assigning himself as chairman. Musk brought on Bill Harris as CEO, who brought his experience as CEO at Intuit Inc. with him, which didn't sit well with Fricker, who had moved from Canada to Silicon Valley to start this company and make his mark. Despite an initial rapport as friends, Musk and Fricker rarely saw eye to eye in business. Fricker simply wanted to create an online bank, but Musk kept insisting their company had to revolutionize the banking industry. Fricker accurately accused Musk of overhyping their product, and tensions got so bad that Fricker attempted a boardroom coup against Musk and Bill Harris to take the CEO positions 5 months after founding the company together. When that was unsuccessful, Fricker, Payne, and Ho.
Fricker seems to be another person trying to rationalize and go by the books. He really thought the whole, corporate model works for a profit motive and isn't really about hype and hype and more hype and social engineering. Profit is maybe fourth, fifth on their priority list. They have other agendas.
All simply left, and they took all the best software engineers with them, leaving behind Musk and whatever staff remained in May of 2000 with a disheveled shell of a barely functional platform. Scott Anderson, a software engineer who started working at X.com on August 1, 1999, described the fallout as complete insanity, describing their software as a Hollywood movie set of a website that barely fooled the venture capitalists. Fricker was apparently so pissed off with Musk on his departure, he doesn't even bother mentioning X.com whatsoever, despite setting the company up using his experience, connections, and education in the banking industry. Fricker recently retired as the CEO for Stifel GMP Capital, lasting 12 years in the organization he joined shortly after parting ways with Musk. The other original founders also went on to have their own successes without having to deal any longer with Musk. None of them mentioned their association with X.com on their professional profiles whatsoever. After Fricker left and took his friends with him, Musk desperately needed money, and he was able to sweet-talk Mike Moritz of Sequoia Capital into investing in their platform, which was barely functional now. But Moritz didn't see through this sham.
Another MM.
He threw money at it anyway. Meanwhile, another company was making their mark in the online finance world, and this one didn't have all this inner turmoil. At least, not yet. A similar banking concept, created by Peter Thiel and Max Levchin at a startup called Confinity, was gaining notoriety with their payment platform called PayPal, which was developed through 1998 and released in July of 1999, almost a year before Musk and Harris had their falling out over at X.com. So right off the bat, 3 things to note here. Number 1, Musk did not found the company that wrote PayPal in December of 1998. Number 2, Musk did not write PayPal. And number 3, the company was not even called PayPal. So when Musk is introduced as the founder of PayPal, there's just so much wrong with that statement. If it wasn't pathetic, it might even be funny. Musk was watching the Confinity platform take off, so Musk started copying their promotional model. Luke Nosek's primary campaign for Confinity, that Musk copied, was offering cash.
Okay, up until this moment, I genuinely thought he was responsible for finding PayPal. So you see, hype. He's just hyped. I'm telling you, this guy is probably just average IQ.
Incentives for new clients and client referrals, which drove both companies into the red ink. Thiel and Company eventually decided if you can't beat them, eat them, so Confinity bought or merged with X.com in the March of 2000 under Bill Harris, who would remain as CEO of the merged companies. By virtue of his shares value, Musk became chairman and Thiel became the chief financial officer. Combining the companies was a nightmare, each having their own corporate culture, and the two were like oil and water. Harris and Thiel particularly didn't see eye to eye on how to handle the combined company, which was sinking deeper into debt, in large part because the site was being constantly hacked by thieves. This discord led Thiel to quit the company. Musk arranged an emergency board meeting to seize the CEO position away from Harris, and that was a move that brought Thiel back as chairman in April of 2000. In his new position as CEO, Musk wanted to phase out all other names in favor of his beloved X.com. Problem was, focus groups hated X.com since it sounded like a porn site. This caused a rift in the former Confinity ranks, which in turn angered Musk, who loved the name. Despite bleeding red ink, the company became popular as an online means to transfer funds. But with that popularity came increased fraud as hackers discovered they could easily access financial data on the site to siphon funds. Additionally, bank fees from the increasing transactions started adding up very quickly. It was obvious now that the company lacked a solid business structure as well as a way to offset the money it was losing, and they had no plan to combat the fraud it suffered. Chief Financial Officer Roelof Botha, now a partner at Sequoia Capital, suspected Musk as the new CEO was not presenting his board with accurate assessments of the company's issues. And enough people started questioning Musk's decisions that they formed a coalition of former X.com and Confinity board members with the intent to dethrone Musk. 6 months after Musk deposed Bill Harris as CEO, Musk himself became the target, and this coalition voted Musk be removed from the CEO position while Elon was flying to Sydney, Australia for his honeymoon with his first ex-wife Justine, who was the eventual mother of 6 of his children. Justine gave Marie Claire quite the interview about her time with Musk, the way she was treated, and how Musk left his family behind for a British starlet named Tallulah Riley, who he would later divorce, not once, but twice. The linchpin to this coup was Peter Thiel returning as CEO, which he agreed to do. Musk found out he had been fired as CEO when he landed in Australia, and immediately headed back on the first available flight to plead his case, but nobody was interested in hearing it. Musk was removed as CEO on September 24, 2000. He was formally terminated from the company on March 9, 2001. That full separation agreement can be found on corporate.findlaw.com, and it has some very interesting language woven into page 3, paragraph 5, regarding the deletion of reference to founders on the PayPal website, which would allow Musk to inaccurately, in the future, call him a founder of the company. After Musk was terminated from all roles in the company, Thiel rebranded the company to PayPal and removed all trace of the X.com branding. He took the company public in February of 2002 with an IPO valued at $800 million, before eBay bought the shop, lock, stock, and barrel, for $1.5 billion October of the same year. So as it turns out, not only did Musk not found PayPal, he never even worked for a company called PayPal. He had nothing to do with the renaming of the company, PayPal's IPO, or the subsequent sale to eBay that made Musk rich by accident. From this windfall that Musk received thanks to Peter Thiel's efforts, Musk took the $180 million he received and sunk portions into Tesla, SpaceX, and Solar City. We're going to take a break right now so you can get up and have a stretch, grab a drink, and then join us when you're ready to click part 2 of this presentation.
Okay, so that's the end of part 1. Now we go to part 2, and then afterwards we'll go straight to BitChute and have a video by someone called Greg Reese expose Elon Musk.
Welcome back for part 2 of our presentation, that is Debunking Elon Musk. There is a part 1 to this presentation. If you haven't seen that one yet, please watch it first and then come back and join us for part 2. Another company Musk is often credited with founding is Tesla. mainly by rookie reporters and fanboys who confuse investing in a company with founding that company. Let's start off this segment with a brass tacks statement. Tesla Motors Inc. was founded by Mark Tarpenning and Martin Eberhard on July 1, 2003 in San Carlos, California. Tarpenning was a software engineer previously working for Textron, Seagate, Bechtel, and Packet Design as VP of Engineering. Martin Eberhard is an American engineer whose interest in sports cars brought him to Silicon Valley's first automobile company, assisting in the design of a prototype called the AC Propulsion T0. Together, the two men founded Nouveau Media in 1997, which built the very first e-reader in 1998 called the Rocket eBook. 2 years later, TV Guide bought that company from them for $187 million. They would team up again to found Tesla Motors Inc. after Eberhard had an epiphany from seeing a Prius parked next to a Porsche in a parking lot, and he wondered how to combine the electric dorkmobile with the sports car type styling. After some brainstorming, the vehicle they conceived, initially called the Porscheus, is what we now know to be the Roadster. The two men founded the company July 1, 2003, with Eberhard as the first CEO of Tesla Motors and Tarpenning as the first CFO, with the two of them financing this startup with their recent windfall from Nouveau Media. Weeks later, a mutual friend named Ian Wright joined the duo. Ian had more experience with vehicles than the partners, so he became Tesla's first VP of Vehicle Development, procuring supplying partners Lotus for drivetrains and AC Propulsion for motors. You'll notice, so far, Musk is nowhere near this story. Not the founding, not the initial investment, and not the vision. Unfortunately, for these two partners, when it came time to take the company public, they believed they needed more guidance, and they met with Musk to be the face of their $7.5 million Series A private funding round, and handled the negotiations and valuation. In early 2004, Musk bought in on a condition that he was named chairman of the company, despite having no experience in any aspect of the company at all. So the $6.5 million that Musk ponied up had two effects. It gave the company the cash they needed to continue development, but it also hobbled the original team with having Musk as the majority investor. The symbiosis previously enjoyed by the founding partners now had to contend with an interjecting narcissist directing their development efforts. It took no time for Ian Wright to see the writing on this wall. He left in 2004, shortly after Musk came on board, to start up his own EV conversion company called Wrightspeed. Adding to the tension, articles written by the media regarding Tesla fawned over the actual founders of the company, largely ignoring Musk and his money. This created a purple-headed monster.
This guy, I don't know, maybe because he's an engineer and not really, an IRS auditor or anything, but I don't know, why isn't he asking questions like, why is Eberhard and the other guy approaching Tesla for capital anyways? Who told them to approach Elon and pitch their, give him their sales pitch so that he can, because he has venture capital? Who told them, who directed them to Elon? That's the sort of question you should ask.
In Musk, who it seems always needs to be the focus of attention. In hindsight, it's doubtful either original founder is happy with how things turned out, because after 3 years of butting heads, Musk orchestrated yet another coup, again targeting the CEO position. Martin Eberhard, the man whose vision brought the Roadster to life, which was unveiled in 2006, was ousted from the CEO position of the very company he co-founded by Musk in November of 2007. Newly installed CEOs, originally Michael Marks, then an outsider named Zeev Drury, were installed as Musk puppets, despite the fact that neither had any automotive domain experience. To remove Eberhard as CEO, despite the fact that neither had any automotive.
Okay, so using my expertise with Middle Eastern names, Zev Drury is Israeli, and the name Zev is Zib, means wolf. CNN's Wolf Blitzer, his real name is Zev, right? Zev is Hebrew for wolf. Zev is like the Arabic Vib, right?
Automotive domain experience. To remove Eberhard as CEO from the board that Musk appointed, Musk held Eberhard personally responsible for the cost overruns in the Roadster production. costs that Musk was actually responsible for by insisting on a number of expensive revisions to the vehicle, including that the body be built out of expensive carbon fiber composites instead of normal body panel materials. Originally, after Musk removed Eberhard as CEO, under newly appointed CEO Michael Marks, Eberhard was to be moved to CTO, receiving the same salary as his CEO position. Although upset, Eberhard agreed to this to ensure the continuity of the company. But that remedy only lasted 5 weeks, because behind closed doors, Musk kept insisting to Marks that Eberhard had to be gone completely, another instance of Musk abusing the genius who brought the company to life. Now, instead of being CTO with an annual salary, Eberhard was handed a take-it-or-leave-it severance package of 6 months' pay, benefits, and 62,500 shares of stock. Eberhard refused and continued working as CTO. 4 months later, Musk replaced Marks with Drury, yet another Musk stooge. The same day that Drury took the job, Musk confronted Eberhard and told him he needed to leave. Musk then threatened to convert enough of his own stock options to common stock to give him the ability to single-handedly can Eberhard, which left the company's original visionary with no option but to leave. The next day, November 28, 2007, Eberhard was gone. Not long afterwards, Drury was also terminated as CEO. Musk then took it upon himself to occupy the seats of both chairman and CEO, which is something that no board of directors should ever allow. Eberhard sued Musk in 2009 for libel, slander, and breach of contract. His 147-page legal filing outlined the unceremonious ouster from his company and the treatment he suffered at the hands of Musk, who he also accused of trying to rewrite history, taking credit for the machine that Eberhard, Tarpenning, and Wright had built. Musk now had the unmitigated gall, as it turns out, to add himself to the founders of the company, when, as we noted before, Musk was nowhere near the company when the two original founders signed the paperwork. The company's board, loaded up now with Musk stooges, rewrote the company history to include Musk as an original founder, and since then the world has been under the impression that this is true. But a lie is still a lie, no matter how many people believe it. Musk also wrongly denied Eberhard's severance, and publicly humiliated Eberhard with the false allegations of incompetence. Adding insult to injury, the man who breathed life into the Roadster, who was supposed to originally get the first one off the line, watched as Musk insisted he was entitled to that vehicle for himself. The man who contributed nothing to the designs except for expensive upgrades and cost overruns. There is even a certificate signed by Musk that appears on page 147 of Eberhard's lawsuit, declaring that he was to get the first one off the line, and Musk still took it for himself. And you know what he did with it? Eberhard was then promised the second vehicle off the line, but Musk took that one as well, and he sold it to a friend of his. The vehicle Eberhard finally got, July 19, 2008, had to be completely rebuilt after a Tesla employee ran it into the back of a truck during testing and caused so much damage that the vehicle would have been written off, but it hadn't yet been insured. When Eberhard finally did get his Roadster, it was...
This is all humiliation rituals and Masonic games, in my opinion.
A rebuilt, write-off vehicle that didn't even have the upgraded essential drivetrain he was promised. It was refurbished, base model, B-stock, while the car he was promised was shot into space. For his part, Mark Tarpenning cut ties with Tesla at the same time that Eberhard got the boot, leaving the company without either of its founding members. Since Tarpenning wasn't thrown under the bus like Eberhard was, his separation was nowhere near as nasty. Tarpenning is currently a motivational speaker on the convention circuits and tech talks. He is now a partner at Spiro Ventures, investing in new startups himself. Oddly enough, he doesn't seem to feel the need to demand being chairperson on their boards, or usurping those companies away from the people who actually build them. Meanwhile, at Tesla, all spotlights continue to shine on Musk, even as lawsuits and class actions stack up. Under Musk's heavy hand, Tesla has seen more than its share of controversy and scandal. Musk and Tesla are currently litigants in over 700 ongoing lawsuits. Some of the more noted past and present legal actions include the illegal workers suit, claiming Musk not only used but abused illegal foreign workers to construct Tesla's paint shop. The UAW filed 4 separate charges with the National Labor Relations Board with regards to union-busting activities, including threats Musk made about withholding stock options from employees who wanted to unionize, a violation of labor law. The Tesla Model 3 factory has been fined so often for workplace safety violations that it has been declared the most dangerous automotive plant in North America. Musk was charged with fraud by the SEC for what is referred to as his 420 tweet. To avoid a criminal trial involving possible jail time, Musk agreed to pay $40 million in fines and step down as chairman of Tesla. a role currently ineptly filled by Robin Denholm, who has apparently failed in her duty to keep a tight rein on her eccentric and grossly overpaid CEO. Musk's compensation package is the subject of another class action lawsuit against him by shareholders, this action proceeding against him and his board later this year. And Tesla's bailout of Musk's failed Solar City is the subject of another class action suit in the billions of dollars, which goes to trial in 2021, which Musk now stands alone in defending as all other named parties have agreed to settle. Okay, that brings us up to Solar City, which we've already done a two-part episode on, demonstrating how Musk lies and hypes up nonsense concepts to benefit himself directly. In Neuralink, which was another two-part episode we did, which outlines how Musk claims to have single-handedly founded a company, when not only is that not the case, but Musk lacks a basic understanding as to what the other co-founders have done and are doing. Hyperloop, which, let's be honest, it's been debunked to death, and the Las Vegas loop, due to open this month, is only going to make things worse. And SpaceX, which we have demonstrated time and again is focusing their attention on a flawed design destined to fail at the expense of their workhorse Falcon and Dragon programs, which Musk intends to phase out. But before we sign off on this episode, there's one more thing that we need to cover. We're going to end this episode by debunking the core of Musk's actual wealth, his 21% share of all Tesla stock. Sure, he has other investments, but it's the value of Tesla that drives his net worth the most. Every time that ticker symbol climbs, so does Musk's position on the world's list of billionaires. But the price of Tesla is irrational for a number of reasons, and therefore, so is his net worth. There's a saying in the investment community that unless a stock pays a dividend, it's pure speculation. Another more modern word for speculation is Ponzi scheme. The following is a simplistic example of why that tends to hold true. Keep in mind, this is a very simplistic model. Do not...
The Quranic term for speculation is khamar, right? Gambling. And it's haram. And let's be honest, trading is mostly speculation. It's haram.
Not take this as financial advice or gospel by any stretch. It is for illustrative purposes only as to the basic nature of buying and selling shares. Before a company goes public, they undergo a valuation to determine what a reasonable value for the company is. There are several online valuation sites such as Clearbank that offer simple valuation tools. This assessment includes things like gross earnings and net profits, assets owned, intellectual property they license out, long-term fulfillment contracts, and operating expenses. Those details are plugged into a formula and a value is determined. That number is then divided by the number of shares the company wants to issue, including to the officers and investors of the company, and then the decision is made for how many shares it wants to release to the public. Let's use an imaginary company called Nunya Business, Inc. Let's say Nunya Business, Inc. received $1 million valuation. The brokerage can break down that valuation to $1,001 shares, or $200,005 shares, or $1,000 shares. Finding the sweet spot for that price is key because some investors won't touch a $1 stock, and most day traders won't look at $1,000 shares, which is why stocks with higher prices often split to lower the price per share. Nunya Business Inc. goes with a IPO price of $5. As a successful company, trading in these shares drives up the share price to $7, a 40% increase. But is the company instantly worth 40% more? No. It still has the same assets and earnings and IP, and the people who bought the shares for $7 are technically $2 underwater until someone else wants to buy them for more than $7. The area shaded in orange is unsupported by the valuation of the company because the valuation of the company hasn't changed. When you're buying a stock with no dividend, what you're looking for are shares that are being sold for less than their company's proper valuation, where the shaded green area represents the headspace for profit before even reaching the company's valuation. So how is that different from dividend stock? Companies that are doing well, that want to give a portion of their profits back to their investments directly, publicly announce dividends on their shares. You can find them on your trading platform, often right in the form of a calendar, or even on the stock quote page. There are 4 dates to make note of: the declared date, the ex-div date, the date of record, and the payment date. If you buy shares before the ex-div date and hold until the record date, you will be paid on the payment date. If you sell before that date or buy after that date, you won't qualify for the disbursement. Let's go back to Nunya Business Inc. Thanks to the successful IPO and increased awareness of the company, they secured a huge multi-million-dollar government contract that resulted in a windfall and announced a $2 per share dividend payable on March 1st with the ex-div date of February 26th. Between now and February 25th, you can expect the share price to rise closer to $7, and on February 28th, the price will likely drop back closer to $5. Why is that? Investors who know the $5 value of the share is based on a solid valuation of the company might be willing to sell their shares to someone for $6, and the person buying the share for $6 will still make $1 profit per share buying now, collecting the dividend, and selling after the dividend has been paid out. The person who sold the share for $6 doesn't collect the dividend, but they made a 20% profit on the sale, and they could buy the share back once again when the price settles at $5. The option the original holder had was to hold the stock and collect $2 per share, which would certainly make more sense for some shareholders, but if you watch such market action, there is a constant flow of shares from sellers to buyers leading up to the ex-div date. The point is, this share price increase is fully supported because the company is giving profits back to the shareholders. But Tesla doesn't do that. In fact, their stated policy on their investor relations website is that Tesla has not declared, and has no plans to ever offer, a dividend on their shares. Not 1 penny. And that should set off alarm bells for any prudent investor. If share prices are rising without benefit of a dividend, what's the cause of the rise in price? Is it because the company is making tons of profit? Definitely not. Tesla claims to be making more and more revenue every year, indicated here in the green bars dating back to 2016. But the blue bars are how much money the company spent on top of those earnings to conduct business, an average of about $1 billion in the whole, despite making over $24 billion in revenue for fiscal 2019. And once Musk has to start paying rent at the Chinese gigafactory he does not own, you can add another $323 million a year to those blue bars. And he has another $2 billion in loans to pay back to the Chinese government in the next 5 years. If Tesla fails to pay, the Chinese government will evict Musk from Giga 3 and keep everything on site. Here's another way to illustrate how out of whack Tesla's stock price is. You compare their market cap as of today and the number of cars they produce to other major auto manufacturers in their most recent reporting using current stock prices. Ford, with a share price of $10.04, has a market cap of $39.25 billion US and is paying a 5.97% dividend. Last year, Ford produced 4.31 million vehicles. GM, with a share price of $54.35, has a market cap of $77.82 billion US, and they're paying a 2.8% dividend. Last year, GM produced 7.71 million vehicles. Tesla, with a share price of $836.80 per share, has a market cap of $793.62 billion US, and is paying no dividend. Last year, Tesla produced 499,550 vehicles. Just for fun, let's see how this breaks down per vehicle. If you take the market cap of Ford and you divide it by the deliveries, that comes out to a little over $9,100 per delivery. Do the same for GM, and that's a little over 10 grand. But when you do that to Tesla, their number is a ridiculous $1.6 million per vehicle, or about 45 times the price of a new Model 3. Now, just to be clear, this was for fun. That's not a metric anyone would actually use. The stock's price-earnings ratio, however, is considered by every serious investor out there. It's an apples-to-apples comparison of the company's stock price versus earnings. According to Investopedia, the higher the ratio, the more potentially overvalued the stock is. Some examples from the world of tech companies with trillion-dollar valuations are Amazon with a PE ratio of 91.39, Microsoft at 34.92, and Apple at 39.13. In the automotive industry, it's very rare to see these ratios over 20, and most of them are under 10. GM is the highest PE of the big three at 24.39. But Tesla? 1658.82. That's unheard of, even in the world of tech. To get that ratio down to a more reasonable spot where GM sits, they would have to divide their stock price without splitting the stock by 68 to $12 and...
Can I go on a little tangent, a little off-topic tangent, but really it's on topic, or will you guys leave? There's only 2 minutes left, and I have another video from BitChute, but I really want to go off tangent on people who are finance majors, and they buy into this bullshit. They don't see the non-feasibility of Tesla Inc. as a company. How does a company that only produces 4,900 vehicles be? Anyways, I don't want to blame them, because one thing about coming out of academia is you might think you're an expert. You might think you're above, the layperson in knowledge of your specialty or whatnot, but no. All it does is makes you more closed off and more vulnerable to the bullshit that's being peddled in your echo chamber. Like myself, I'm a history major, right? When you look at and I've always been interested in ancient history, and you know that's what I went to university for. Now look at the Nubian pyramids. Look how pristine look how pristine these supposed 3,000, 2,900 year old pyramids are. And they say that it's because, a lot of them are reconstructions. They're all reconstructions as far as I'm concerned. These supposed ruins to me look like they're from the 1950s, 1960s. These are brand spanking new. And I think the Nubian pyramids were constructed exactly in 1956. Now, you're going to say, Bakara, you're talking a lot of nonsense. But these don't look like ancient ruins to me. And the motivation is clear. It was the civil rights movement in America, right? They needed ancient structures for black civilization to mirror the Masonic sites that they built in Egypt during the Napoleonic occupation of Egypt.
And 30 cents per share. Or they have to increase their earnings from 52 cents per share to about $35.36 per share. Those are the only two ways you can obtain the PE level of an automaker. If Musk's entire fortune was tied up in Tesla stock, and the Tesla stock price incurs a correction that would bring it in line with other automakers, Musk's net worth would drop from $182 billion to a little under $2.67 billion. Still more than enough for a mere mortal to live on, if it was his free and clear. But according to Forbes real-time reporting, half of Musk's Tesla shares are collateral against loans in his name. Meaning, if that stock correction ever happened, Musk would still be billions upon billions of dollars in debt after handing over every cent he had to his creditors. And it would appear he's forgotten all about the pledge he made last year to donate half of his wealth to charity, even though that too made headline news in September in the same publication that's now tracking his wealth in real time. As with everything in this world of social media and non-stop news cycles, optics seem to matter much more than reality. And journalists were very quick to jump on stories declaring Musk to be the richest man in the world. But Musk is much less the richest man in the world than he is riding the biggest stock bubble of the decade. He keeps that bubble inflated with hype, and the reliance on his fans that no matter how high the stock price climbs, there will always be somebody else blinded enough by Musk's facade to pay even more for it. For now. Eventually, those blinders will fall off. That's the definition of a Ponzi scheme, a house of cards. And when it collapses, so too will the fortunes of Elon Musk. Thanks for tuning in to this episode.
I think it's all going to tie with waning magic, the mid-2020s. This whole facade will unravel. There will be an impetus to start violence within the US and civil war, so that by the late 2020s it will actually be, fighting on the ground. But someone in the comments told me that there was a video in Infowars that exposes Elon Musk even better than what we just watched. So let me have a look. Elon Musk exposed the truth about Elon and his Satanist girlfriend. So let's see this.
Pop culture has touted Elon Musk as some sort of eccentric heavyweight genius with humble beginnings. But this is demonstrably false. Elon Musk was born in South Africa, where he claims he grew up extremely poor, but his family owned an emerald mine. As a teenager, Elon would trade emeralds for cash in New York City, and his father bragged how they had so much money we couldn't even close our safe. Musk claims to have had about $100,000 of student loan debt, but he received a full scholarship to the University of Pennsylvania, where he bought a 10-bedroom frat house with his friend Adeo Ressi and ran an illegal nightclub. The pop culture claim is that Elon has an IQ of 155, but this has never been tested, and after being accepted into Stanford for PhD studies, he dropped out after 2 days. After dropping out, Elon began his first business venture with his brother Kimball, Zip2, which was essentially a digital version of the Yellow Pages. The brothers received tens of thousands of dollars from their parents, and yet Elon denies this. An associate of Elon's father, Greg Curry, got involved to bring in investors. But Elon's code was no good, so they had to hire on professional coders to rewrite everything. Zip2 was then sold for $307 million to Compaq, who later shut it down without ever earning a profit. Elon made $22 million, bought a $1 million McLaren F1 supercar, which made mainstream news, before he totaled the uninsured vehicle. Musk then went on to create an online bank, X.com. He partnered with banking expert Harris Fricker, Edward Ho, and Christopher Payne. All three ended up leaving the company after accusing Elon of lying to the media about the quality of their product. Elon claims he founded PayPal. Before the company was named PayPal, it was known as Confinity. It was founded in 1998 by Peter Thiel and Max Levchin. After losing millions of dollars, Elon's X.com was bought by Confinity in a merger in 2000. All Musk contributed at Confinity was his own power struggle. He made himself CEO and pushed to change the name to X.com. The executive team successfully petitioned to fire Musk while he was away on vacation. Part of Musk's resignation agreement stipulated that all references to founders of the company will be removed from their website, allowing Elon to claim credit, which so far is all he has ever achieved.
Seem, you say I don't believe in Infowars or any American conspiracy show. Jimmy Dore too. You know what? Not only do I share your mindset, I think the people behind Infowars, Alex Jones, are exactly the people behind Elon. But because of something compels them, all right, to reveal the trick. It's not like with the magicians, the magicians, they guard their secret to the very end. The parlor magicians I'm talking about. But these social magicians, for some reason, Infowars does reveal a lot of, what do you call it? It literally follows the Quranic edict about the eavesdropping genies, right? What they do, and this is how the Quran explains comets. They go to the highest heavens to eavesdrop or to basically spy on any bit of news that they can then share with their human, partners, right? The actual human magicians, the soothsayers. And for every 100 parts of news they get from, the heavens, it's 99 parts truth mixed with 1 part lie. And whatever motivates them to add that lie, who knows? But it's never, it's never 100% retelling of what they have heard, what they spied on. And I say that Infowars is kind of like a modern rendition of this. 99 parts what it says is true, and then, there was this one comedian, Patrice O'Neill. He said it best. He said, Alex Jones, he will predict, this or that, and it sounds absolutely reasonable. Or he will explain, this was a false flag and it sounds absolutely reasonable. And then he shoves marbles up his ass. Basically, he looks absurd. He looks ridiculous, right? So you toss out all the information he gives you because of his clownish, facade. And I really think there's a science behind the whole clownishness too, because mirth is king. The whole court jester trope, right? I can be funny too myself, trust me.
Peter Thiel then rebranded the company as PayPal, went public, and sold to eBay for $1.5 billion. Elon made $180 million from the deal, which he then invested into Tesla, SpaceX, and failed company SolarCity. Elon falsely claims to be the founder of Tesla. Tesla was founded in 2003 by Mark Tarpenning and Martin Eberhard, who developed the Tesla Roadster. When Tesla Motors began looking for venture capital, they approached Elon Musk, who had the fake credibility as PayPal's co-founder. Musk joined with the condition that he be named chairman of the board. In emails, Musk was upset that the media was not giving him credit for Tesla Motors and went after Martin Eberhard, replacing him as CEO. He then forced Eberhard out of the company and rewrote the company's history to have himself listed as an original co-founder. Martin Eberhard, the man behind the Tesla Roadster, was promised the first Roadster off the assembly line. But Musk screwed him over on that as well and sent that car into space.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly.
Okay, that part was the best part, the whole launching that car to space. That was a whole insult to everyone's intelligence. I completely blocked out that part because, my goodness, when the whole thing was happening, I blocked it out.
Who is Elon Musk?
I did not talk about it to anyone who, it's literally, I would feel secondhand embarrassment.
Elon describes his father as being an evil, abusive man. His father, Elon Musk, has been accused of being a pedophile and fathered a child with his stepdaughter, who is 42 years younger than him. This spoiled, narcissistic failure, son of accused pedophile, wants to put computer chips in everyone's brain so that we can merge with artificial intelligence. His girlfriend is now bragging how this could all lead to a communist utopia. And strangely enough, former Nazi and head of NASA, Wernher von Braun, predicted a man named Elon would conquer Mars in a 1952 novel that he wrote. Which is odd, because NASA has partnered with Elon's SpaceX to work towards colonizing Mars. Elon Musk, like everything else in today's modern society, is a fraud, a fake genius, just like fake philanthropist Bill Gates and his fake vaccines. Brought to you by the fake news. Here's a pro tip for dealing with the mainstream media and all of pop culture. Assume it's a lie and research everything. For Infowars.com, this is Greg Reese.
That's exactly how I operate. When someone proves to me that they're a liar, all it takes is one time. And then that's it. Everything out of their mouth for me is a lie until I verify it to be the truth. And that's actually a commandment from the Quran, that you have to verify information if it comes from a fasiq. Fasiq means a corrupted person.
Well, that is brutal. Give us your take on it in the comments below. We'll be right back. The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind. All right, so I always love Greg Reese's reports, and we air them all. They're at Band.video. And he said, I'm working on Elon Musk one. I said, okay, whatever. And so we just premiered it there. I hadn't watched it until we aired it. He was just finishing it up last night, so I hadn't had time to see it today. And I mean, I think it's pretty brutal, and I think most of it's accurate. I think to say he's a loser that never accomplished anything, I mean, I would overall disagree with that statement. I mean, he got NASA to sign on. He got heavy lifters into space when nobody else could do it. That's the biggest heavy lifter in the world. So certainly, if he was a con man, he's faking it till he makes it. But regardless, I like him leaving California and coming to Texas. I like him being against the lockdown. I like him being against the forced inoculation and saying he's not taking it. I think he plays both sides. I think he's an opportunist. But he says, I want world socialism. That's horrible. He says, oh, he's pushing brain chips where it's a little kiosk at the mall. Remember he said 2 years ago, within 2 years it'll be happening? Didn't happen. And then he's got his girlfriend, properly named Grimes. And here she is talking in a video.
Wasn't Grimes a character in Simpsons? The guy, Frank Grimes. He was the guy who lived. He lived above the bowling alley. Yeah, I was right. Sorry, I'm just.
About how we're all going to be connected to AI and not have to work and do nothing. Well, that's, you'll own nothing, you'll have nothing, you'll love it. You'll be hooked in like a wirehead that Philip K. Dick predicted 50 years ago, where your pleasure centers are controlled by the AI, so you no longer have free will. That's called enslavement. But that's the holy grail that MIT and all of them are going for.
Now that I've had our friend here speak, absolutely no way this stream is monetized. So if you're watching this, don't be shy. Please donate. Help this channel grow. I'm thinking about purchasing a microphone because no amount of optimizing the mic on my laptop will be equivalent to actually having a mic. And I guess I am soft-spoken, so my audio is not conducive to making intermissions as frequently as I do. So help me out, guys.
It's an experience that totally takes you over. 1,000 times more addictive than your smartphone, manipulating your dopamine. So this is just extremely creepy stuff. Transhumanism. A few years ago he says, "Beware AI gods. Beware the globalists that want AI takeover." Then he says, "Oh, I just accept AI. Let's take brain chips." So he plays double messages, and I don't think that's a good thing. But he's famous. He's interesting. And so that's a discussion that we're having here. And I'd love to have Elon Musk on the show to give his side of the perspective. But going on Joe Rogan and smoking a big fat joint, I was like, oh, he's really cool. He's like one of us. That's more of a gimmick. And I'm not putting him down for doing it. I've gone on Joe's show and done that myself.
I was about to say, didn't you literally do the exact thing? You went on Joe Rogan's show and you puffed on a joint. It is a gimmick. See, there's more of the reveal. I think, and call me Mr. Da Vinci Code, I think Joe Rogan does not smoke any marijuana. I don't think he does any drugs. I think he does not inhale.
I'm not a...
I don't think they... I don't know about him. I think he's an alcoholic. But, yeah, they don't do drugs, guys.
Marijuana smoker might do it literally once a year because it's so strong. But that's a ritual on Joe's show to do it. So I think I've smoked pot 3 times the last 4 years, every time with Joe Rogan. And then every time I got back, I'd like, family court's calling. Your ex says you're a big pothead. And I'd go get drug tested. And of course, there'd be no marijuana in me because there was like news articles about it. Jones ordered for drug testing. No drugs, because I don't take drugs other than legal ones called
like Ritalin,
caffeine and alcohol. And I don't even really ever drink anymore either. So I'm kind of a boring guy, but enough about...
Look, he's getting all red. You don't have to lie, man.
Me, ladies and gentlemen. Here is his girlfriend. Kind of a creepy person, if you ask me. I mean, with all these weird fake scars she has, all these weird, overhead shot, please, all these weird tattoos and everything. And that's her right. It's her body. It's like a Baphomet to me. I have my right to say I think it's creepy. I think putting X's on your belly and all this weird sigils or magic type stuff and this outfit, it all smells of Satanism and Luciferian buffoonery to me, and people trying to be different when that's how they are all acting. Resembles more a bunch of idiots going off the edge of a cliff. But here's what she has to say about the Evermind. Here it is.
I have a proposition for the communists. So typically, most of the communists I know are not big fans of AI. But if you think about it, AI is actually the fastest path to communism. So
I hate quirky, eccentric people like this who put on, and this is what is winning. Everyone wants to be an individual, and right? Like, I take such care and time to find the most mundane looking suit that's still, high quality, but that doesn't look, extra in any way. And then there's people who put things on their faces like this. Subhanallah.
if implemented correctly, AI could actually theoretically solve for abundance. Like, we could totally get to a situation where nobody has to work, everybody is provided for with a comfortable state of being, comfortable living. AI could automate all the farming, weed out systematic corruption, thereby bringing us to as close as possible to genuine equality. So basically, everything that everybody loves about communism, but without the collective farm. Because let's be real, enforced farming is really not a vibe.
Well, that is extremely vapid, and the whole argument is a giant fraud at every front. But I guess this is more of her doing her art. It's definitely striking art, definitely gets my attention. Who programs this AI to give us total equality? Oh, LeBron James is taller than me and stronger than me, so we've got to cut his legs off. Oh, you've got more money than me, so you need to give me part of it. Well, really, who decides who gets that money? There's no way to ever have equality. You can have equality of freedom in that you have a shot at success in the world. And that there's not some royal family that gets everything free who makes all the rules for you. That's what America is. It was the furthest level of freedom we ever got to. That's why the UN and Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates and the New World Order attack it all day, because their authoritarian systems cannot even compete with the idea of America existing. So America produced a little bit of freedom, but it was light years ahead of all of the black holes that were authoritarian regimes. So picture the level of freedom like being above sea level. And America got to 1,000 feet above sea level, and human freedom could be 1 trillion feet above sea level, potentially. But it comes down to the individual and how we act, and the decisions we all make individually that then adds to a collective matrix type system. But that's in God's mind through our free will, interfacing with God, not directed by some AI system. And then picture the Soviet Union or Hitler or Mao Zedong as a wormhole to hell that is trillions of miles below sea level. So everyone was shooting to get out of hell, and just the idea of private property and freedom for some was new. And then from that extrapolated more and more freedom until the globalists invert that and say, no, anyone having freedom is taking away from those that don't. So let's lower the standard of freedom worldwide in globalism so that we're all equally miserable, but we're not really. The globalists are then flying around their private jets and their huge manors above us while we live in coffin apartments and are called obsolete, non-essential.
100% he's right, and that's going to happen. Why? Because the rich here in the Anglo-American realm, they've lived long enough in Dubai, in Mumbai, in Calcutta, Bangkok, Rio de Janeiro, and they've seen how the billionaires live over there. Basically, they literally have slaves. They literally still have butlers, right? You have no idea how much of a nuisance the middle class is, right?
World they're building, you have nothing, you own nothing, you're non-essential. Robots tell you what to do. You're forcibly inoculated with poisons, and they call that a utopia with some 20-year-old dimwit hopping around, telling you that, I'm incredible. I ride around in cars with a sword in my hands, and I have high heel shoes, and I wear tinfoil. Wow, tinfoil jetpacks. Man, there's the future. It's all right there. And she's got a snake. Oh, the forbidden knowledge. I've never heard of this before. If it hadn't been force-fed to me trillions of times. And you know what happens when I'm force-fed something? Ugh. You couldn't pay me to be anywhere around that or near that. And all she is like the light on an anglerfish trying to suck in the young people, because maybe when they launch their brain chip company, if it ever actually gets off the ground, they can fool some 18-year-old meth heads to put chips in their brains. And then they'll think the infections and the ooze coming out the back of their head is cool when they're constantly having to go in to be upgraded and everything. They'll all drown in their own evil. There's Elon. See, Greg's being too brutal. I thought we could actually put Elon's spirit on TV and just, look at little Elon. There's his girlfriend out there riding along up top. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Infowars.com. Tomorrow's news today. We got Elon Musk on the show. Look, there he is.
So,
Peace, people. So this is just going to be a little rambling historical.
okay. Just reading the comments. It looks like I should have paid attention to the chat. You guys had a lot to say. But Elon is definitely a fraud. Let's see what our friend has to say about Elon. For entertainment purposes.
Again with another video. Now today we go break down this character you see on screen. This is Elon Musk right here. And I'm gonna basically show you the reason why he's here, why they put this one on in front of the masses. Okay? Because this one right here is a CIA operative 100%, a Freemason worker right here, doing the wing sign right there for the Phoenix, no doubt about it. Everything they do is satanic, and they bring you these satanic worshippers in plain sight. This one right here, so-called in charge of the SpaceX, okay? And you already know it's a 100% devil work once it got something to do with space, okay? Now, this one so-called created the Tesla car, you know what I mean? So, and Solar City, basically, this one right here responsible for the so-called electric cars. Even though electric car was around before this guy even born, it's the same bullshit they give the masses, just to push this one up on top and pump him up and the masses. But he's a satanic worshipper, 100% deceiver, and what they say he is, he's not. Okay, this one right here is a CIA.
Gets to talking about the actual rocket, the fake, the space car.
Operative 100%. He don't own Tesla. That's what you gotta understand. The same Tesla That clown that they push on you from back in the days, it's the same name they named this car. It don't have nothing to do with Elon Musk. Only thing they do is use him as front, because they have to use somebody just like Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates and all the rest of the characters. They basically have to put him on in front of the masses to say he created this car right here, so-called this electric car. Now, if you notice what he's doing with his hand right there, it's all Freemasonry, 100%. Everything you see them do all day, there go the Freemason pyramid he got holding on the hand sign. What you think? This one is a deceiver. They put him on to trick the masses, basically to sell you space and Mars. That's what it is. And every time you see him, he basically holding the pyramid on the hand sign to show you who he's working for. Bam! Wake your ass up. They don't put this one on magazine for no reason. And like I say, he's not no genius. What did he do that you don't already know about? He created electric car? No, he didn't. Electric car been around. This one right here didn't give you nothing new, nothing breaking. It's just the same bullshit they give the masses and use Elon Musk to basically front. That's all it is. Okay? That's what you gotta understand. This one didn't invent electric cars. So what the fuck is he? The 50 greatest inventor since what the hell it is? Okay? He didn't invent nothing. All they do is trick the masses. This Elon Musk right here, which Elon Musk is 37 in numerology. Okay, that's how you get your 21. Same number 3. Wake your ass up. This one is a damn deceiver. They put on the masses, and if you thought it was a coincidence with him with a hand up, look again. There he is doing the same thing again. It's all Freemasonry. You want to see more? There you go again. It's him doing the same sign again. It's not a coincidence. Everything they do is by design. No doubt about it. Now, like I said, they say you own SpaceX. And let me tell you, there is no space. So what is this guy work? Only thing he is here to do is deceive the masses. If they got no space, no Mars, what is his purpose? Wake your ass up. He's selling the SpaceX to these people right here. Look how it come to numerology. 23 for your number 23, same number 6. Wake your ass up. Elon Musk right there giving you the wings of Phoenix with the X behind him. Of course, he's a Freemason puppet. 100% they put him on. He didn't create nothing. That's what you need to understand. They are all CIA puppets. Okay? Tricking, running games on the masses. Because if the government was coming out and say, yeah, we create the Tesla car, you wouldn't give it that much respect. But if they put a face to it, like they did with this one right here, give him a name, Elon Musk, give him the...
That's a brilliant point by Mag. Brilliant, because you have to understand the American mindset is to reward genius and to reward ingenuity with, with these, if you're a creative genius type, you might become a CEO of a company that produces a product that becomes a bestseller, and you beat off your competitors. This is the trope that the American mindset has been brainwashed into believing, but it's false. Anyone who has any talent, sooner or later, they come across, a power nexus, and, they've already profiled you. If they figure out that you can be compromised, you won't go higher than, a certain level. I'm not saying you won't be successful, but you won't be chief of police, for instance. You won't be a CEO. You won't be a top general. You won't be a 3-star general. They have to be able to compromise you. And compromise you with something that can ruin you if it's exposed.
This X right here, SpaceX, wake your ass up. He's a damn deceiver. 100%. And like I say, everybody they bring to you, yes, they are deceivers working for them. They're working for the devil, 100%. That's why they put them on these network right here to basically trick the masses with their black magic right here. He's so-called making car float. I guess he's trying to tell you that he was gonna put a car in. He gonna put a car in space. This liar right here, 100% deceiver. As you can see, the 3 strokes right there as his forehead for the number 3. Wake up, and the orange background. This one right here, deceiver to the core. As you can see him with the 6K right there. That's for 666. Wake your ass up. The number 7 right there at his head. And he's still doing the Freemason hands up sign. Wow. Bam! Elon Musk doing the C right there with the finger, with the hand sign. Wake your ass up. It's a deceiver. And they put him on in front of the masses. There he is doing the same thing again with this SL right there for your number 63 in numerology. That's what it is. Bam! There you go, playing Austin Power because it's a damn joke. Okay? Do you really think this one invents shit? He don't invent nothing. It's a faker, 100% fronter they put on the masses. Basically playing Austin Power right there with the finger in the mouth and the cat. You take this one serious, he do the pyramid on the hand sign shouting out to the God, and there you go right there, the pyramid on the shirt. Wake your ass up. This one is a deceiver. Just like Mark Zuckerberg, like I tell you, owner of Facebook, found out Facebook is all fake. They front these guys just to put a face onto the damn product. That's just how it is. No doubt about it. And if you was waiting to hear from the man, gone ahead and delete that Facebook, it's no good. No doubt about it. All they do is keep track of the human being and run surveys on them. This one right here basically promoting the aliens, talking about he taking people to space in a fucking space car. Wake your ass up. Pyramid on the hand sign show you that he's a deceiver. He work for the people who deceiving the masses, and they're showing you this right here. Look what it said. Look what it said underneath there. SpaceX Elon Musk, he Mars City plan. Get the fuck out of here. This is what they want to give the masses to trick you that they can actually go to a place called Mars, millions and millions of light years away, and built on it. It's all bullshit. We on one earth and they can't get out. One flat earth covered by a dome. They can't. Okay? They can't get out. 100%. So all this Elon Musk selling you right here is just a fucking dream. That's all it is. He sell you a dream that he gonna take you to Mars, and people actually putting down money on it. Or it could be a propaganda with these so-called stars putting money on it. They all know there ain't no damn space. As you can see, all the star behind him right there with this half a sea, half a moon for a sea, and there go the star represent this, the fallen angel around the sun right there, the damn sun ray. That's what it is. All day of the week, they're all deceivers. As you can see him right there on the Time magazine. Only puppet they put on this one right here. 100 most influential people in the world. They put it on this one right here. Wake your ass up. He's just a Freemason puppet. They're front for the damn Tesla car and this fucking space shit. There he is. So-called launching rocket. And he launch off a rocket. It take the people to space, and then the rocket land back where it take off from. It's all bullshit, people. Wake your ass up. This one right here is selling you a dream, showing you a capsule, so-called, that called SpaceX. This is what he gonna bring you to Mars. Wake your ass up. It ain't nothing but a giant virtual reality shit, okay? That's all it is. Just like you put on that goggles, the virtual reality goggles, and you're basically like you there. That's the only thing he can do, okay? He can put you in this shit right here, put the glasses on you, and let you feel like you're somewhere that you're not. That's all it is. It's a fucking trick. As you can see right there, it's a fucking dragon right there. Why you believe in these deceivers, people? Wow. That's what I want to know. He got the dragon on it right there, show you the damn beast, and you bought into what he's saying? Wow. Wow, there ain't no damn space. This one just faking the masses and selling you a dream. Wow. Don't buy into nobody you see on the Time magazine. They're 100% deceiver. And if you notice,
I don't agree with Mag on the whole Turkish flag thing. I'll explain the crescent myself. But he is right about Time magazine and whoever they put on their cover. It is always a puppet. As for the Turkish flag, the C or the Hilal, it's completely un-Islamic. So all these countries with a crescent and star symbol on their flags, that's from the Ottomans and has nothing to do. Islam forbids symbols. Keep that in mind. There is no symbolism in Islam in any kind or shape or format. So no depictions of the Prophet ﷺ, no star, no crescent, nothing is a symbol of Islam.
They always make his head touch the damn hem. It's by design. No doubt. It's a Mason. 100%. As you could see right there. This one right here on the Frontier magazine, Fortune magazine. Wake up. #1, Elon Musk. This is how they sell you these puppets right here. He didn't create nothing. He's not no genius. He's a 100% faker all day of the week. He's just your modern day Tesla right there in plain sight with the damn so-called space helmet. Wake your ass up. There's no space. They put him on the Rolling Stone magazine holding this basically to promote space. Wow. Wow. This is a big old Ponzi scheme right here. He so-called go bring people to space. Are you kidding me? There go the M right there for Freemasonry. And I don't know, that's not an A, that's a damn pyramid with the I in it right there. And there go the 3. That's a 3 right there. Okay, that's why it turn like that. Wake your ass up. And the X stand for number 6. And like I say, SpaceX is 2-3 numerology. And this is a dream they're selling you right here. Okay? They're selling you a red planet, so-called. Wake your ass up with robots with the number 6. Wow. Everything they do is by design. 100%. They don't have no space. It's all fake, people. Wake up and see. Everything they give you is fucking dreams. Selling you dreams of Mars and outer space. Now, like I say, if he wanted to invent something and call himself a genius, make the car that you don't need to charge. Okay? That's the only fucking thing you need to do. Because car been around running off electric and battery been around running shit. You can't tell me that you invent electricity spinning a wheel. No way, okay? Come up with something that we don't need to charge. And then I know, okay? Then I know that you're a genius. It's all bullshit. Same old technology they use on the masses with this one right here and call him a genius. All he is just a front for the damn Tesla and fucking trick the people about space. This is a Photoshop photo with him right here. It shows. That's what it is. That's how they do it. No doubt about it. Bam! Like I say, he portraying the high-end man right here. Okay? Yes, he do even have the suit. You're seeing him in the suit sometime. That's what it is. That's what they promote. Nothing but TV dreams. They sell the masses. No doubt about it. This pyramid right there with the damn T in it. Wake up. All by design. The Tesla don't belong to this one right here. He never create nothing. It's all government shit right there. And back in the days, 99, look at his hairline. Peel all the way back. Bam! There you go. Peel all the way back hairline. Right there. And I don't know if they're trying to tell you they created PayPal. Nothing but bullshit for the masses. There go your Elon Musk right there with the fake fucking CGI. Tell you that he sent a car to space flying around with a dummy in it and you bought it. Wow. That shocked me, people. No doubt. That one was a road awakening that people actually believe this shit the dashboard say. Don't panic. Wow. It's all fucking fake with the horneted creature right there, basically in the steering wheel. Wake your ass up and show you the fake ball earth. Bam! This is the car right here in so-called ready to launch. Are you kidding me, people? Wow. Wow. I'm done with this shit, man.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
If people believe this, there's no saving them, okay? When people believe this shit right here, there's no hope. 100% hopeless. They put this car right here, so-called, and launch it from here straight into space. Oh wow, there go the car right there, so-called, and people actually believe it. I'm shocked. Wow, I'm shocked, people. 100%. This is a so-called car flying around the fucking ball earth. Wake your ass up. It's a fucking lie. All dream they're selling the masses is Elon Musk. Wake your ass up. Mag, I'm gone.
Okay. So he left the best for the last. And if, people think you're weird for believing that Elon is an actor. Who cares? As long as you're happy, as long as you're with your family and friends, and you're feeling safe and secure, who cares? Let them think you're a tinfoil hat. What do they call me? A Da Vinci coder. So let me go and look at the chat. I think the Ethiopian flag is a straight up pentagram. Oh yeah, Amber. Ethiopia is a completely long chain of cooperating with empire. It's the only part of Africa that wasn't colonized for a reason. It's not for any noble resistance from the Ethiopians, no. It's because they were already colonized by the Solomonic dynasty, right? King Menelik, look him up. That guy was worse than any European imperialist. How many ethnic groups he basically forced to be part of the Ethiopian realm. So yeah, before they changed their flag, they had the Lion of Judah. The Lion of Judah and the Ark of the Covenant. It's a lie. The Solomonic dynasty, they have nothing to do with Solomon. They were basically expelled from Yemen. And since when were royalty expelled, evicted from a place? The same with Morocco. Morocco's flag is a pentagram as well. Morocco's kingdom, the Ayyubids, have been, since the 1600s, they've been basically cooperating with Kingdom of Castile. When the Moors were being expelled, they basically instead of taking a lot of them in, a lot of the Moors that got expelled, they didn't go back to Morocco. They went to Algiers, right? Tunis, the Ottoman Empire, Turkey. A lot of the Jews went to Turkey. A lot of them settled in a place called Thessaloniki in Greece, right? Why didn't they settle in Morocco? Because the Moroccans, the kingdom was already in cahoots with the Castilians and the other Spanish royals, right? The current king of Morocco, he's a cokehead. That's the rumor, or not a cokehead, a pothead. That's the rumor, and they're all royalty. They're all degenerates, right? Yeah, he just from looking at him, you could tell he's a goofy dork. There's no Machiavellian, oh, he took down this guy, then he took down that guy, and then he became CEO, he became first board of director. No, it's all a front for intelligence operatives. As soon as I saw that Israeli name, Ziv Drur, I knew there's CIA and Mossad and all that behind him. Rebecca, the more I learn about Islam, and a lot comes from you, the more I really appreciate it. Wow, mashallah, you made my you made my Ramadan. That's so good to hear. Inshallah, you find Islam in your heart, because to be honest, Islam is just the moderate way. It's like the middle ground. The true Abrahamic representative, in my opinion, is Islam. LOL. Whole Middle East is full of potheads. You know, I'll give you my take. There's two power nexuses in the Middle East. It's the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Islamic Republic of Iran, right? And the people, for the most part, they're good people, right? Like if you come here to Canada, most of the Iranian Canadian community, they're highly educated, you know, they don't commit crimes, they're good people. They keep to themselves, they're very friendly, right? But if you talk to millennials, whether it's Iranian millennials here or the States or even in Iran, a lot of them hate Islam more than any European, more than any Westerner. And I always found it shocking. But the more I think about it, and it's happening now with Mohammed bin Salman in Saudi Arabia, the leadership, the power nexuses, they impose Islam in such a way that the people hate Islam. Now, you might think you have to know the people. Most of the outsiders who are speaking on behalf of human rights, they don't know the people and they don't care. Like liberals, they don't care, right? Liberals are misfits and degenerates, and mostly people, if you're a young liberal, it's excusable, but an older liberal, you should pay attention to them, right? For instance, liberals used to say, oh, Saudi Arabia, they are oppressing the women by not letting them drive. Believe it or not, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Saudi people now, they wanted it that way. When just personal experience. When I lived in Saudi Arabia, this is in the 90s, I lived in Saudi Arabia for a bit. My mom never drove once in her life. She always had a chauffeur, someone driving her around. And this person was paid. There was a whole industry of chauffeurs, right? People hired by the family to drive the women because, look, you need to go run your errands, right? But in the end, this was more comfortable and this was preferred. Driving is a headache. It's not a feminine task, right? Just because women drive here and don't realize how much of a headache it really is and how preferable. Well, I guess Uber's changing that landscape and self-driving cars even more so, but I'm telling you, the situation was, well, maybe not for, but again, if you could afford a car, you could afford a chauffeur, you could afford, and most of them were from Pakistan, India, they weren't Saudis, right? So they weren't paid that much. They didn't need to be paid high wages to drive them around. And if you speak to human rights groups, they'll say, oh, the Saudi women are yearning for to drive. No, they weren't. They had a luxury that most women here could, just could wish, right? Could wish for. Now, if you speak to the youth in Saudi Arabia, a lot of them envy the lack of freedoms. They envy the freedoms the youth have here. Things are changing over there now. They're getting access to all sorts of concerts, all sorts of like Disneyland, theme parks, everything, all sorts of entertainment, right? And it's polarizing because a lot of this entertainment, let's be honest, it's not PC. You're dancing, you're watching some scantily clad person perform. What does this have to do with Islam, right? So this is what Saudi Arabia is pushing now, and I think they are doing it in such a way to make the youth hate Islam. And in Iran, it's already a done deal. I'd say the majority of the youth over there hate Islam. And it's funny how places like Iran, a lot of the migrants, they have no qualms becoming Christian. I think a lot of it is a grift, to be honest with you, because Shia practice taqiyya like a religion 24/7, and maybe in their minds they think, oh, if we say we found Jesus, it's we'll be even more convinced. So I have absolutely zero respect for those Iranian refugees, and there's a it's a huge phenomenon, especially in Scandinavia, in the US. Kurds, not as much, but a lot Iranians becoming Christian. You don't see this happening with any other group. You don't see it with Pakistanis, Afghanis, Somalis, what do you call them? Arabs. It's so strange. Seem, I've done a lot of drugs. I hate all of them. Well, in my youth, it's not good to admit to the things you've done haram, but I've smoked weed. And weed is being promoted a lot nowadays. I think because, unlike alcohol, weed is a sedative, right? It makes you lethargic. It makes you passive. Alcohol, only in the late stages does it make you lethargic and passive. When you start drinking, it actually invigorates you and makes you violent or hostile or aggressive for a lot of people. And the powers that be, they used alcohol for a long, long time, but they never really liked the effects. But the money and the profit from alcohol, wow, they always love that. But marijuana is a win-win for them because it is profitable, but the effects are also more manageable. If you're a shepherd, you would want a lethargic herd instead of a drunken, volatile herd, right? That's why they're pushing legalization of marijuana so much. Marijuana is going to take over alcohol, especially with the pivot to Eurasia and with the rise of, Chinese, Russian nexus. You will see the return of, just like in the 19th century, the whole opium wars, right? One reason there was opium peddled in Asia is because they couldn't really peddle it successfully in Europe. They tried. It's different now. Now with opiates in the 21st century, they're succeeding with the white people, right? But in the 19th, 18th century, they really tried, but no, the poison of choice for the European was always alcohol. And with East Europeans, vodka and so on. And with the Anglo-Europeans, it was the rum and the whiskey. And the gin, Gin, gin. Why no push for sobriety and health? That's one benefit about Islam's Sharia. Look, humans have different levels of willpower, right? So we all know that not everyone becomes a shithead alcoholic who's basically blacked out in front of his lawn every night. Most people, when they drink alcohol, they're functional, right? They go to work, they wake up, blah, blah, blah. But alcohol has enough influence on enough people, enough negative influence on enough people for it to be in the sum of things, a negative. That's why in Sharia, it's banned. You have no idea how logical and how over 1400 years, well, over the 1400 years, 300 years of debating and, full spectrum scholarship was dedicated to coming with Islamic fiqh. It's not just, fatwa, fatwa. No. Everything has logic and rationale behind it. When most people, finally realize that Islam, one problem is the Muslim world is run by basically the dogs of the West, right? So they put Muslims at a lower consciousness, and you see Muslim countries are basically the shitholes of the shitholes, right? So you cannot respect Islam until you respect Muslims. And that's going to change with waning magic, for sure. It's changing already. But you will see. When things basically are completely waned in the West and a multipolar world is an actual reality, I envision with maybe Turkey and Pakistan being the leaders of this, Muslims being the policemen of the world. We will be the referee between the Americans and the Chinese. We'll be the court. They'll come to us to complain. Oh, look, the Chinese, they did this. Oh, look, the Americans, they did that. You just watch. That's going to be the new. And if you think I'm, not talking realistically, exactly, Islam emerged exactly in this sort of environment, with the clash of two immense power nexuses, right? Only at that time it was the Romans and the Persians. The East and the West was Rome and Persia. Now it's NATO and China, or whatever you want to call it. When they exhaust themselves, or when one has a Pyrrhic victory over the other, you just watch. The Muslims will come back on the public picture. First thing that will happen is they'll kick out all the Muslims in Europe and so on, right? But to basically, the yin for the yang is all the fifth columnists in the Middle East and so on. They'll be kicked out too. They'll basically, all the liberals, feminists, all those, the homosexuals, all those, the movie makers and Netflix people in Cairo and so on, they'll all be sent to London, Amsterdam, so on. I think that's what's going to happen with the reset, or post-reset. But anyways, guys, it's almost 11:30. I'm rambling. You could tell I'm alone tonight in the house. I'm just rambling on and on. So I don't think I have anything else to add. With that, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.